Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Xabi Alonso already made feelings clear on Man Ut job with Liverpool consideration. Free agent Xabi Alonso has already made his position clear regarding the Manchester United role. The former Liverpool legend was relieved of his duties as Real Madrid manager on Monday, just one day after his team suffered a 3-2 defeat to Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup final. Alonso, 44, had been in charge at the Spanish Giants for merely 8 months. His exit means the availability of a figure who was the most sought-after coach 2 summers back, along with Liverpool reportedly pursuing their former midfielder to succeed Jurgen Klopp. Both Bayern Munich and Madrid were keen on securing his services as their manager. He chose to stay at Bayer Leverkusen for the previous campaign, with United also receiving a rejection from Alonso before opting to offer Erik ten Hag a new deal, according to the Mail. This account aligns with earlier suggestions that the former Spain international would be hesitant to accept the Old Trafford position due to his enduring connections with Liverpool. Though nearly 17 years have passed since Alonso departed Anfield for Madrid, he continues to be adored by supporters and has previously acknowledged his ongoing bond with the club he called a family, reports the Mirror. During his return to Anfield in 2022 for a charity match, he told Liverpool's official website, "Once a Red, always a Red. It's not a logo, I think it's a reality. Not just my case, I think that most of us feel really close to the club. Wherever you are in the world, Liverpool fans remember you and they keep you closer to the club. That's the best thing of Liverpool, all the support and all the family that's around the world." Speculation linking Alonso with a return to Liverpool emerged almost immediately following his departure from Madrid, though such talk appears rather unrealistic. Arne Slot has successfully stabilised matters at Anfield, following an alarming spell towards the end of last year, which saw the defending Premier League champions stuck in mid-table territory. Nevertheless, the Dutchman and his team extended their impressive unbeaten run to 11 games across all competitions on Monday evening, with a commanding 4-1 victory over Barnsley in the FA Cup third round. Strikes from Dominic Szoboszlai, Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike ensured the Reds progressed to the fourth round, where they will welcome Brighton to Anfield next month. Xabi Alonso's former Liverpool teammate claims Reds are keeping eye on him. Former Liverpool midfielder Diet Mohamed believes Liverpool will be keeping a close eye on Xabi Alonso following his firing from Real Madrid. Alonso was relieved of his duties at the Bernabeu after defeat in Sunday's Spanish Super Cup final to Barcelona. The 44-year-old has been replaced another of his former Liverpool and Madrid teammates, with Alvaro Arbeloa being promoted from the club's academy. The decision comes after weeks of speculation over Alonso's future. Reports had suggested that he was in trouble before the turn of the year, with Real lagging 4 points behind Barca at the top of La Liga. His departure from the Spanish capital has already raised speculation over his next steps, with Liverpool rather inevitably featuring heavily. Alonso was seen as one of the early favourites to take over from Jurgen Klopp 2 years ago, before he ruled himself out of the running. He would go on to spend another season at Bayer Leverkusen before taking on the Real job. And although he doesn't feel Arne Slot is in immediate danger, having steadied the ship after a nightmare couple of months at Anfield, Hammond, who played alongside Alonso for 2 years at Liverpool, feels the Reds will be keeping a close eye on his former teammate. "All the big clubs monitor other managers and their situations," Hammond told Jeff Bett, who would have thought Arne Slot would be under pressure 6 months after winning the league. "Things happen fast in football. I think Liverpool, amongst most top clubs in Europe, will be keeping an eye on Xabi Alonso. He was the hottest manager 6 months ago, but he found himself under huge pressure at Real Madrid recently. I don't think that situation affects Liverpool's situation with Slot, though." Alonso has now broken his silence following his dismissal from Madrid, and thanked the club despite his reign, lasting less than 8 months. "This chapter of my career has come to an end, and it hasn't gone as we would have liked," he posted on Instagram. "Coaching Real Madrid has been both an honour and a responsibility." Xabi Alonso wanted Liverpool transfer target, as Real Madrid rejected request. Former Liverpool midfielder Xabi Alonso's spell at Real Madrid has come to an end after merely 7 months, with the Spanish Giants deciding to make a change in management, and from the outset, he never enjoyed the complete backing of Florentino Perez. The Los Blancos president has never shied away from making bold decisions, and Alonso was put forward to him when he looked for Carlo Ancelotti's replacement. The The pair could hardly be more contrasting, one a manager, the other a coach, and the Real squad never fully embraced his approach. No Galacticos were brought in during the summer, with Trent Alexander-Arnold's free transfer from Liverpool perhaps being the most noteworthy piece of business, but Alonso saw one of his specific transfer targets rejected by those above him. He was eager to pursue Martin Zubimendi, the Spain international who now finds himself at Arsenal. Zubimendi was heavily linked with a move to Liverpool during the summer of 2024 before deciding to stay in Spain for another year. The midfielder had progressed through the academy at Real Sociedad, just as Alonso himself had, and was always destined to depart in the summer. However, BBC Sport reports that Real failed to act upon Alonso's request, allowing Arsenal to swoop in. The 44-year-old wanted a midfielder. Not only did he miss out on his primary target in Zubimendi, but he also failed to secure anyone in that role. Zubimendi had previously expressed his admiration for Alonso. Had an approach materialized, the 26-year-old may well have pushed to play under a man he described as his idol. He previously said about Alonso, "I've always said that he was my idol, and that for me it was a stroke of luck that he was able to coach me in the reserve team in a very important year. I don't like to talk about those hypotheses, I like to talk about the present." Zubimendi has netted 3 goals in 27 appearances for the Gunners, playing a key role in their strong position at the summit of the Premier League and in the Champions League. The Spanish Super Cup final defeat to Barcelona ultimately sealed Alonso's fate. Despite arriving at the Bernabeu with an impressive pedigree after getting Bayer Leverkusen to Bundesliga glory, remarkably toppling Bayern Munich along the way. He departs with Real still firmly in contention in La Liga, though trailing Barcelona by 4 points. Speculation has long surrounded Alonso's potential move to the Premier League. He was expected to succeed Jurgen Klopp at Anfield before the club chose Arne Slot instead. Manchester United is currently in the process of appointing interim manager Michael Carrick, while Thomas Frank continues to face mounting pressure at Tottenham. Xabi Alonso breaks silence on Real Madrid exit as Liverpool hero admits regret. Xabi Alonso has broken his silence following his departure as Real Madrid head coach. The former Liverpool midfielder was confirmed to have left the La Liga giants by mutual consent on Monday evening, following a challenging 6 months in charge at the Bernabeu. The 44-year-old, who has frequently been linked with a return to Anfield as manager, took over from Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid ahead of the FIFA Club World Cup last summer, following a successful 3 years in charge of Bayer Leverkusen. He went on to win 24 of his 34 games in charge of the Spanish outfit, losing just 6 times, but he left the club following their Spanish Super Cup final loss to Barcelona last weekend. Taking to Instagram following his departure, Alonso shared his regret that his return to Real Madrid, who he represented as a player between 2009 and 2014, had not worked out. "This chapter of my career has come to an end, and it hasn't turned out as we would have liked," he wrote. "Coaching Real Madrid has been both an honor and a responsibility. I thank the club, the players, and above all, the fans and the Madridista community for their trust and support. I leave with respect, gratitude, and the pride of having done my best." Alonso enjoyed a successful playing career at the Bernabeu, winning La Liga, the Champions League, and 2 Copa del Reys. However, his time in the Madrid hot seat was littered with reports of behind-the-scenes discontent within the playing squad, with his position undermined as a result. Alonso was first linked with the Liverpool manager's job following Jurgen Klopp's departure in 2024, but opted to stay put at Bayer Leverkusen for a further season, as the German outfit chased down their first ever Bundesliga title. He has again been linked with a return to the Reds this season, following the reigning Premier League champions' challenging campaign under Arne Slot, where they lost 9 from 12 matches during the autumn. However, such talk has since quietened with Liverpool, having since put together an 11-game unbeaten run. Alonso has twice returned to Anfield as a manager, with Leverkusen and Real Madrid. He suffered a 4-0 defeat last season with the German side, before Alexis Mac Allister's header consigned him to a 1-0 loss back in November.